This was a few years back when I was around 18. Now, it is my early 20s. I live in San Antonio, Texas, and at that time, this event occurred during my last year of high school when the pandemic was just about starting. My friends and I were going out more than ever since there was not much to do because most of the places were shut down. I always loved investigating any urban areas and haunted spots, and then I was fearless. Odd things had happened, among them encounters with weird groups, and once somebody held a weapon on me. But nothing could compare to what I experienced one night, which I will explain briefly. By now, I had begun chatting up a girl from school I knew as Clarissa. She was quite adventurous too, so one night, I convinced her to check out a natural park around 3 a.m. The place, known as Optionable Park, is very scenic by day but looks pretty eerie at night, and the police tried to keep people out after dark. We arrived in Optionable Park, and it was quite unsettling when we saw the silence of the place. I rarely use a flashlight since it only illuminates, thus limiting the area through which one can view beyond the light. To start with, I was fearful of being seen from far away. We walked for approximately 15 or 20 minutes when we decided to find a shortcut that would eventually lead us back to my truck. Just after we had been walking for just some couple of minutes down that shortcut, we suddenly began hearing a flute playing. Clarissa and I froze, looking at each other in shock. The tune was weirdly rhythmic, almost as if it were a rehearsed piece of music, but it was hauntingly out of place in the dead of night. Although I'm usually pretty calm, the way Clarissa started to tremble and pray made me realize just how bizarre this situation was. It sounded like the flute was somewhere near the main trail but was coming closer and getting louder and more unsettling to us as a whole. I felt I needed to get out of there. I told Clarissa not to worry, that I'd never let anything happen to her, then suggested running. We started down the trail. The flute had stopped, and then, all of a sudden, some big animal was moving through the brush and snapping twigs right in front of us. It could have been some animal, but it's strange that we'd never heard it coming or going. It just materialized there, moving fast past us. We turned and began running back toward the trail, terrified. As we approached the place where we first heard the flute, it started again, this time louder and more intense than before, almost like a strange, rhythmic sound that filled the air. We had no safe passage out, so we ran the rest of the way on the main trail to my truck. We were shaken, but we were quick to make the return. On our way back, we crossed an empty portable restroom that just added to the tension. My truck was the only vehicle in the lot, making the whole experience even more surreal. The next day, I tried to look up if anybody else had encountered something similar but found nothing. Some stories talk of strange noises in the woods, but this incident of the flute felt peculiarly weird, and I still can't explain what or who it was. On hindsight, it's much more paranormal than anything rational. After that, I went to a lot of spooky places, but never did I find anything near to that night again.